got a little cool thing for you to work on today with an altered pentatonic scale. So, diving right into it. You're probably familiar with the basic pentatonic scales like the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. But what about if we took one of those and altered one of the notes in it? So let's look at the minor pentatonic. Root, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor seven. So if it's starting on G, we've got this. You've probably all heard that. Root, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor seven, back to the root, right? Pentatonic, 5-note scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're back to the octave. Now, these are very popular. They can sound great depending on how you use them. Now, let's look at where these notes might be effective not on a chord that has G as its root. Let me give you an example. So if we look at the notes in G minor pentatonic, G, B flat, C, D, F, and G, I look at that and I'm like, well, you know, all those notes are present in some other scales too. For example, what about in F major? So if we were thinking of the G Dorian mode, all these notes in the G minor pentatonic are also found in G Dorian, but we add the second, the A, and the sixth, the major sixth, the E. I'm like, okay. So if we had a G minor 6 chord, which we might think we'd used a Dorian on, for example, let's listen to how the Dorian sounds on that. So here's the Dorian. All right, sounds great with that. But the minor pentatonic will still work on that minor 6 chord. Check it out. Minor pentatonic. Works great. Now, that's looking at a chord where it is a G type chord, a G minor type chord. But what about this? Remember I said to you, okay, those notes in that G minor pentatonic, we can also find those in the F major scale. So we could apply that G minor pentatonic to these related chords in the F major scale. For example, one of the ones that might sound quite cool to play on is the E minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is the chord built off the 7th step of F major. So if you're running through your diatonic 7th arpeggios, you'll notice on the 7th degree of the major scale, there's a half diminished or minor 7 flat 5 chord. So if we're in F major, it'll be an E minor 7 flat 5. Okay, it sounds like this if you want to play it all the way up the top of the neck. All right, now, if we've got that sound, keep that in your head. Let's listen to how the G minor pentatonic sounds over that. Sounds pretty good over this sound, right? Just playing sequences of notes from G minor pentatonic. Now, that's all well and good. But what about that F that's in this scale? Well, here's the thing. In the E Locrian scale, it has this flat second, flat 9. It's a bit of a rub with the root of the E minor 7 flat 5 chord. But that's in the Locrian mode derived from F major. One of the things people use over this minor 7 flat 5, instead of using the regular Locrian, is the Locrian with the sharp 2 or natural second, depending on which reference book you're looking at, how it's termed, but it's derived from melodic minor. So the Locrian sharp 2 or natural second is found on the 6th degree of the parent melodic minor. So the melodic minor that's the parent of that E Locrian sharp 2 is G melodic minor, right? So you have these notes, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F sharp, G. There's the G melodic minor scale, right? All right, now let's do the E minor 7 flat 5 chord. I'll play the chord here. And let's hear how that sounds. See, that all works. So start it now on the note E. So here's our E Locrian sharp second. See that F sharp? That F sharp sounds really nice over this E minor 7 flat 5. It doesn't rub as much as that F natural did. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that and we're going to construct a pentatonic from the G melodic minor, all right? And then we can use it on that E minor 7 flat 5 or any other related chord derived from G melodic minor harmony. It'll sound great. So we're going to do this. Remember our original G minor pentatonic went like this: root, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, minor 7, right? We're going to make it a major 7. Listen to this. So that's your sound, yeah? All right. Now, let's see how that sounds over our E minor 7 flat 5. Is our G minor pentatonic with the major 7. So a G minor major 7 pentatonic, if you like. That's our sound, okay? It sounds great to me. That F sharp is a really interesting color, isn't it? So what we've done is we've altered the original minor pentatonic and changed the minor 7 in it to a major 7. And then I was looking at all of the possible chords derived from G melodic minor, which is the minor scale with a major 7. And it also has that major 6th, which differentiates it from, say, G harmonic minor. So I'm like, I love the sound of that over that E minor 7 flat 5. Well, don't forget there's an E minor 7 flat 5 built off the 6th step of the G melodic minor, so no wonder it sounds good. And you can apply that altered pentatonic over any of the related chords. So let's look at what's the 4 chord in melodic minor harmony? It's a dominant chord with a sharp 4. It's a Lydian dominant you get. That's the mode, and you get a dominant 7. If you put the extension on, you get a sharp 11 in there. It's very cool. So if we're in G melodic minor, the 4th mode, G, A, B flat, C, starts on C. I take the notes from G melodic minor from C to C, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B flat, C. I can still use that G altered pentatonic, that minor major 7 pentatonic, and it'll sound great with the C7 with the sharp 4 on it, right? You have this sound. And then I added the E at the end there, which is the major third of the C7, just to kind of take it out of that pentatonic sound and add that other note from the parent scale of G melodic minor. So, it's a short video today, because I think that's quite a lot to chew on already. But the basic premise is we take an existing pattern, something we know well, a major pentatonic, a minor, and then we look at tweaking a note in there to perhaps to make it a little more colorful and interesting. And so what I did, instead of playing a straight G minor pentatonic, I played a minor pentatonic and I raised the 7th by a half step. What did I use for the DNA, the building blocks? I kind of based it around the melodic minor with the same root, a G melodic minor. And then I looked at the relevant diatonic chords I can create from G melodic minor. And one of the reasons why I picked that E minor 7 flat 5 chord is because you find that off the 7th step of major harmony, but it's also on the 6th degree of melodic minor. So you're like, I can kind of interchange that Locrian mode from major harmony, and then I can use that Locrian sharp 2 or sharp 9 from melodic minor, but then I can also do this pentatonic scale, and it's kind of cool. And I like the fact that that G minor pentatonic with the major 7 doesn't have an E in the scale, even though we're going to play over an E minor 7 flat 5 chord in this example. Just sounds really interesting to me. So, there you go. Have fun with that. Your G minor major 7 pentatonic.